all-new FPE Network.
Florida Park Explorers.
We explore the parks 5 to 6 days a week with great live streams and vlogs. We cover everything from rides and food to magic and fun and fireworks. So come join us on our adventures as we take you through
the Disney parks and more.
Check out our all-new channel, the FPE Network. And thanks for watching.
Smiles, laughter, togetherness, it's the stuff vacations are made of. Not just the time we spend, but the memories we make together. So let Melska Planner help you plan the most magical vacation of all. We'll make it happen while you make the memories. Melska Planner, family vacations made magically simple.
Welcome in, hockey fans. It's another night of even strength. I'm the BearShark. Joined with me is the natural, as always, Sam. Welcome in. How are you?
Hey, what's up? I am fantastic. Well, I'm borderline fantastic. I was fantastic till about 15 minutes ago when my beloved, where is it? This shoulder, my Maple Leafs did the job and lost to a team that is no longer mathematically eligible to play in this year's playoffs, the Montreal Canadiens.
They still have a team?
Yeah.
Who knew? Oh. I'll tell you what, it was a heartbreaker. There's no doubt. Anybody who, by the way, if you guys are not watching when Sam's calling Toronto games and you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you're a traitor. So get over there, watch him when he's calling them live, put it on your TV, join the club, get in there with them. Get the camaraderie on, which, by the way, also brings me to a quick little point. If you're a hockey fan and you're a Ranger fan, you may notice I might be a Ranger fan. I'm only like everything's Rangers. We're going to be doing something a little different. I decided to follow in Sam's footsteps. I am going to be calling games starting this Tuesday, as a matter of fact. We're going to be calling the Ranger Penguin game, so make sure that you tune in right here. It's going to be the special edition of Even Strength. But make sure you're following us for live hockey. We're going to be calling them. If you want to watch Toronto, absolutely go over and get there with Sam. If you're going to watch Rangers, come watch it with us. If you're watching any other game out there in the world, make sure that you tune into our partner channel, The Pete McDevitt Show. Get over there, subscribe to Pete. He not only does hockey, but basketball, football, you name it, he's in it. We're going to be doing a lot of those things on the network, and we're not going to be competing with one another because he's our partner. But if you want to watch some sports, that's what we're here for. So let's get into some hockey, because last week we were projecting trades. This week we got trades.
We had a few.
We had a couple. Matter of fact, my team might have made one or two. You may have done something. We called the Giordano trade, so let's let you start off with what you wanted to go with, and then we'll jump in, and then we'll do Sam's Club in a little bit.
Sure. So, yeah, the Giordano trade was the big one. The surprise coming over was Colin Blackwell. I had no idea anything about Colin Blackwell.
He's a great player.
He is a grinder. He's feisty. He gets in there. He gives it his all. Super impressed with his first couple games here. And we only gave up a couple draft picks. and not a first rounder. So it was a 22 second rounder, a 23 second rounder, and a 24 third rounder.
He used to be a Ranger.
I did not.
He was a Ranger. So I know him well. And you know what I just realized? Where are my manners? Sam, we didn't do something.
Uh-oh.
Hello, chat. How are you guys? Joey D, Crewed Up, Bernie DC, Fitz Magic in the house, Drew, Morgan Fay. How is everybody? Steve, welcome in. Disney Fanatics, that means Greg is in the house with his blue hair. AAU Triton, what's up, Eric? How are you? Welcome in. Ian B, thank you for joining us. Thank you for everybody. Dallas, Hockey Girl, don't get the name confused. She's Canadian. Other than that, let's see who else is here. Joey D, if I didn't say it, I did just then. Patty Puddles, welcome in, everybody. So welcome into hockey, everybody. That's bad manners on my part. My Canadian counterpart should have said, hey, you're being a bad host. All right, so back to the trades.
Yeah, we just got too excited to get right into hockey.
Yeah, I know.
So, good deal there. We did say goodbye to Travis Dermott. We shipped him off to Vancouver for, I think, a bag of pucks and a water bottle, and a 22nd third round pick. So see you later, Travis. But the other team who's, in a shootout right now against Ottawa, which if both my teams lose tonight, I'm just going right to bed. Florida Panthers, really, really busy picking up Robert Hagg from Buffalo. They were the winners of the Claude Giroux sweepstakes. They pick up Giroux and a 25 fifth-round pick and a couple other players in exchange for Owen Tippett, a 24 first and a 23 third.
Now, did you hear what Giroux said?
I did not.
He said, and it has been quoted, I am not going anywhere else. When they left after he played his 1,000th game, he thanked everybody in the locker room and said, I'll be moving to Florida.
Oh, wow.
So he basically told them where he was going and said, make it happen.
That's
so
awesome.
It was not really on the table for anybody else. So that was kind of an amazing way of going about it. Well, apparently the Raptors, you know what? Since somebody brought this up, tell everybody what happened at the Raptors game tonight, because you actually were watching.
Yeah, it was interesting. So during the Leaf game tonight, we kind of had the Raptors updates on the side. And so there was a Justin Bieber concert at the arena last night, and they, of course, teared it down and put the basketball up today. And a little bit into the game, there was a fire that broke out in one of the speakers. So they called the game, they suspended the game, they evacuated all the fans. They kind of had to deal with the speaker, put the fire out, take the speaker down, and they then resumed the Raptor game with no fans. And so, too bad for those fans that were there. I was more concerned because the Leafs are hosting the Florida Panthers tomorrow night. So I wanted to make sure that game wasn't going to be delayed because I'm super excited for that game.
Amen.
But, big interests with the fire delay.
Which is really kind of funny because the Raptors right now are blowing them out 94-67. So you wonder if that delay did anything to kind of help things out. But that's kind of crazy, everybody. And, I have to say this because you brought up Justin Bieber and you reminded me of something because I'll forget to do it later. So while you're talking about, the final things, I'm going to do a quick screen share and get this pulled up while you're finishing up what was going on with Giroux and Florida Panthers.
Sure. So Giroux, Florida comes away with him, and they weren't done. Florida is absolutely ramping up for a huge run at the Cup this year, picking up the guy I really wanted the Leafs to get, big defenseman Ben Sherratt. He is picked up in exchange. They give up Tyler Similik, a 23 first rounder and a 22 fourth rounder. So Florida is absolutely teeing up and just getting ready to.
Florida's going to be a beast. Yeah, they're going to be an absolute beast going into this. So just so you know, Dallas Hockey Girl goes, Florida beats Ottawa in shootout. I guess you're going to bed after this.
Yeah. No, if Florida wins, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Florida. Florida needs to win.
Oh, I thought you were going for Ottawa. I thought it was the Canadian thing. Oh, yeah, you got the Florida Panther hat. My bad.
So I'm torn for the game tomorrow because this is my rally hat. When the Leafs are down, I put the Panther hat on, and they do well. So I'm really torn tomorrow. I'm kind of mixed up Mother Goose right now with the Leafs.
I can understand that. Britt, how are you? Welcome in, David Banner. The Hulk. Wow, that's pretty cool. The Hulk actually said, anyone notice that the teams that should be getting crushed are actually competitive? It's funny. When we were back in the green room, we were sitting here talking about how Montreal beaten Toronto, but the Devils absolutely crushed the Rangers the other night. It was like Shesterkin wasn't even in net. Anyway, speaking of things that are really funny, I happened to come across this while doing some research tonight, and I just couldn't help but do this. So just let me say I'm sorry now. But this is happening. Yeah, Justin Bieber did reversible jersey. Like,
they are nice. I don't like the yellow, but I love the blue. The blue,
the blue's great, but I mean, come on, man! Like, what is that? It looks like Mr. Hanky.
Do you recall?
Don't forget to bring your leaf.
Do you recall? I think it was the San Jose Sharks that did a black jersey previously, which is almost identical to the Leaf shirt.
Well, look at the eyes. It's creepy. It's like, don't forget to bring a leaf. Like, I don't get it. I mean, a cartoon character. Like, and by the way, I get Beebs is a hockey fan and everything else. So, more celebrities that watch hockey and that are actual hockey fans, the better. But someone let him have a box of crayons and go to town and make a jersey. Like, what was somebody thinking? Like,
so the story behind the jersey. So every year they say they've been doing it for years, but I don't ever remember hearing them talk about it. They were doing their next gen game. Howdy ho,
everybody! Don't forget to bring your towel.
So the Leafs apparently do this next gen theme once a year, and the idea is they're doing new things to introduce a younger generation. So they had a bunch of different animated characters and partnering with the Beebs to do this reversible jersey. They had all kinds of next gen graphics for when they a guy scored a goal. They had this funky writing to put out their name and whatnot. So this was just one of the things they did. They're going to sell a ton of these. But yeah,
so I gotta say this. Even he's looking down at it going, I can't believe they made me wear this. Look at the look on his face. He's like, oh, this thing's horrible.
First they made them eat those Tim Beeb donuts from Tim Hortons, and now they're making them wear the yellow.
It's kind of funny because if you remember when Fox took over hockey, when they kept putting the blur on the puck.
Yep.
For real hockey people, it was annoying because you had this blur and you couldn't. It drove me nuts. I absolutely hated it. It was so nice when they did away with it. But anytime we would try to reach out to bring in more hockey fans, it's a good thing, unless it's that jersey. So, other than that, let's say hey to Marina. Welcome in. Tampa is gearing up for the playoffs by sacrificing their future. There's no doubt about that. The Rangers did it in 2014. You see us coming back 8 years later. So, at some point you do got to go all in. And it definitely makes it difficult. But, I had to pick on Toronto for that because they let Bieber have the box of crayons, and that's what he came up with. So I personally would like to see the goaltending mask match that because it would be freaking hilarious. They should go back to the old 75 styles with the holes, and it should look just like the Leafs. Even if it's only for warm-ups, it would just be funny to do. So
that would be pretty awesome.
I would love to see it. Like, there's no doubt. Like, he comes out and he should have Mr. Hanky with him. Anyway, I digress. So, speaking of some humorous things, because you had pointed to something that happened during intermission. I'm going to cue that one up if you want to kind of tell everybody what happened.
Sure. So TNT signed a deal with Gretzky not too long ago to come in and be one of their analysts on their panel. And good for them because, who better to talk about all the great things in hockey than arguably the greatest player of all time.
Right.
So he comes in, they do this segment. Well, Will Arnett puts on, the goalie, the glove, and the blocker. Don't you guys bring up pillow hands?
Pillow hands. This guy's, let me tell you something. I've been thinking about making a t-shirt that says, don't forget about pillow hands.
You know what? I did see, before we go into that, I saw your Rangers wipe the floor with Pittsburgh the other day. I take 100% credit because you may have missed it, but earlier in your stream, Jen was at the park and I made a comment. Oh, Dave's at home preparing for Pittsburgh to wipe the floor with the Rangers or whatever I said. So
yes, you
I
did.
take that win 100% credit for inspiring the Rangers to come out and play.
You were 100% correct. I actually called him and I said, did you hear what Sam said? He actually sat there and said, Ryan Reeves, you have pillow hands. You guys got killed by the Devils, and he thinks you guys are just trash. And they went, oh, yeah, we're going to show him.
See, in the universe, not only are we making fun of Justin Bieber's Leaf jerseys, the universe making fun of me, because here I'm calling your team out. They win quite nicely, and Montreal wipes the floor with my team. So the universe is just knocking me around.
But to your point, and then we'll get back to what they did with the great one. Chris Kreider's having a career season right now. Okay, like let's just be honest. 40, I think he's at 44 goals right now. It is an incredible season. Every time he hits the puck, it's going in the net. This guy's on pace for a 60-goal season at this rate. Might even be higher than that. I mean, this is a generational season for him. So kudos to Chris Kreider and the way that they're playing. Lafreniere finally showed up. I picked on him last week. I think he heard me when I said he's trash and they should trade him, even though I knew that he was off the table. But I was kind of just joshing, and I did get a couple of people send me things that goes, how can you be a Ranger fan and not know that he's off the, and I'm like, I knew he was off the table. He's their first round draft pick. He's not going anywhere. Like now, if it was Kreitzov, that's a different story. He's give me a low ball offer. Somebody gave me a bag of Big League Chew, I take it. But so back to what you were saying, because I want to play this clip because I think it's absolutely epic. And we're going to play it in bits, just so everybody knows it's YouTube. They hate when we do this. So we're going to I'm going to bring it up now. I'm going to start to play it and then let Sam kind of commentate as it's going. So this ought to be funny. So who is it that's with Gretzky?
I don't even know. I got so caught up in watching the clip, I didn't even pay any attention to who else was in there shooting with them.
Oh, no, I meant who's in net.
Oh, who's in net? So Will Arnett is actually in net. He puts on the trapper and the blocker, gets in there with the stick. They have a nice fancy studio there I love the floor. But they get in. Will Arnett, happy as can be. He knows these guys, they're going to line up, take a couple shots, and he's got to stop them.
All right, let's see if I can get this to play. Let's see. Are we going to play? There we go. There we go.
So I tell you, Gretzky, every time I see Gretzky now, I kind of have like mixed feelings because he still looks like he could play. Obviously, he's put on a little bit of that after hockey weight, but he still looks good. And every time I see him, I fully anticipate him to like do something special when he picks up a puck in a stick. I remember he played in one of the Winter Classic alumni games. I think it was for the Oilers. I don't remember if it was the Oilers or Rangers, but for somebody. And every time he touched the puck, I'm like, oh, here's Gretzky. He's going to do something. Here's Gretzky. He's going to do something. Yep. And it was kind of disappointing. He never really did anything.
It was the Rangers.
He was the Rangers. Okay.
Now, I'd like to point out for the record, if anybody notices, because these are the things I look at. Now, you see the great one standing off to the left. Does anybody notice how white his shoelaces are? It's almost like he's sitting here wishing he was wearing skates. Because he's got black shoes on. They almost look like hockey skates. He's got the white laces on. They're big fat laces. And then you look over at Weeks. Weeks has got the black sneakers on with the white, with the white bottoms. I look at sneakers. I think it's funny because at the end of the day, it just cracked me up. But anyway, and you see Will Arnett sitting there. He's getting ready for the great one to hit him in the face with a puck.
And as any Canadian, well, really any player, or any person who liked hockey, when you get an opportunity to hang out with Gretzky, it's one thing. When all of a sudden you get to face Gretzky taking some shots on you, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, so here's Weeksy coming in, and Weeksy's going to warm him up a little bit. And look at Arnett. I mean, he's got good form. He's kicking him out. Look at that. Beautifully done. Like, you can't say anything bad. Weeksy's doing what he's supposed to do.
That's Gretzky's break, getting the 502 or 702 to pass the record, take the record.
There he is as an LA King,
wearing that car logo on his chest.
That's funny. We're gonna try and scoot past this, everybody, because if not, NHL will be very unhappy with me. So we don't want them to be unhappy. I'm Wayne Gretzky. Don't any of you forget it. And it was just an epic moment to watch. It was so much fun. So thank you for pointing that out because I had missed it. And then you were like, hey, did you see this? And I went back and watched the clip, just thought it was absolutely hysterical.
It was great, and I love that they're up to doing stuff like that because it's so nice to see. Oh, there Bernie says, oh, it's Talkett, Carter, and
It was Talkett, not Chelios.
Yeah,
that's why I kept going. It's somebody I hate, and Chelios is the other one. So anytime I see Chelios or Talkett, I'm like, I just want to puke.
Chelios, you can tell though on the right angle because he has that funny nose that's been broken about 20 times.
As a good hockey player should be. Hey, what's up? Look who it is. We got Dolip Dad, everybody in the house. That is the host, by the way. If you're not paying attention on Monday nights, you should be, because Dolip Dad is the host of Breaking Balls over on Monday night. That is a baseball weekly recap. So make sure you tune in 10:30 on Mondays, and we have more shows coming. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the show tonight. But welcome in, Dolip Dad. It's Jeff. His co-host is. I'm just going to call him Bill. I can't call him Bill Senior. I don't know. It just freaks me out. So anyway, so we had a lot of fun. We obviously had a great one in doing that net, and obviously we just picked on Justin Bieber with his box of crayons. So that was. I guess we should actually talk some hockey since we're 25 minutes in. We should probably get to it. I don't know. You want to get back to trades and some of the things that didn't happen?
There was a few things that didn't happen. I mean, the big thing, Marc-Andre Fleury gets traded. It was hit or miss. I mean, there were so many teams linked to him. We didn't know where he was going to end up. I think just before, I think you actually mentioned it on Saturday, just before he's going to Minnesota.
Yep.
And
I'll take credit for that one.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, just before we came on, having some issues adjusting.
It's the first time he's ever been traded midseason. He's always gone after the season. He said he's having a hard time with it. They're hoping to get him going. And he goes, I just need to get my confidence up. Normally he's got camp. He doesn't have that. He's going to start net, I think, their next game. And then they got 20 games after that they're going to be able to, try and make a run. And the problem with Fleury is if he goes cold, he's horrible. Yeah. I think he had an 0.887 save percentage when he was at his worst. So, I don't know. I think it's a bad move. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah, he's tough to bank a playoff run on. But, some other big name players that we kind of knew were going to move, but we didn't know where. Richard Raquel, we kind of thought might end up coming to the Rangers, goes to Pittsburgh.
Rangers backed out because, frankly, the ask was too high. And I happen to agree with them when I heard what they were asking for. And then what's really funny about it is he goes to Pittsburgh for not the asking price.
Yeah. They still gave up quite a lot. Anaheim gave up quite a lot.
Yeah,
for sure. So,
wait, Bernie said Fleury's playing tonight. So and they're down 2-1 to Columbus. I knew they were playing him against Columbus, but I thought it was tomorrow. So thank you, Bernie.
There you go. And speaking of Columbus, another guy we knew they were going to move. We thought he was coming to Toronto, but Max Domi goes to Carolina. Carolina getting themselves in some good position for some.
How the Rangers didn't get in on that, I don't understand it. Like, I don't get why we didn't go after Max Domi.
Yeah, you often wonder. I'd love to understand what goes on with some of these calls, right? Of how certain teams, when they figure, no, I don't want in, or yeah, I want in, and when you see what some of these guys go for, it's like, why couldn't my GM pull the trigger on that?
You're exactly right, because when you had the biggest trades, obviously Giroux, Giordano, you guys knew Giordano was coming to you because at the end of the day, he flat out said, I'm going home. Yeah. So, kudos to you guys on that. Apparently the Rangers were in on Hagel to Bagel. We just couldn't get that done either. So there were a lot of things that went on, but one of the trades that unwound was this one. And I thought that this was a big deal. By the way, everybody, if you're just joining us, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, share it out to a friend. If you know somebody who likes hockey, we're hockey people. So, help us out, get that out to everybody. But again, I'm the BearShark. Above me is the natural Sam Welb. If you're not watching us for live games, you should be. So hit the like button or hit the subscribe button, notification bell here. Go subscribe to Sam. He's at 717. We're going to try and get him to $1,000 by the end of hockey season, or if not sooner. But get over there, subscribe and watch. I mean, he's calling hockey games. Come on, that's what we do. Anyway, so Dadonov's trade gets unwound.
I've never heard of this ever happening in the league. I've heard of, back in the day, back in my day, when they used to fax, trades in, where you hear, the fax machine wasn't working or the deal came in late. I know that burned Toronto a couple times where they sent a fax, but it never actually was received. But I've never heard of a deal getting canceled after it goes through.
Well, do you know the reason why?
Yeah, in such a bizarre situation.
It's really weird.
Vegas picks up Dananoff, and Dananoff has a no trade clause, no trade list. But apparently, Vegas is not aware that this no trade clause exists. And not only was it Vegas, apparently the NHL office had a tough time.
They didn't know either. Right.
So, Vegas trades him to Anaheim. Everything seems kosher. It goes through. Everything looks good. And he's like, wait a second. No. I have a no trade list and they're on my no trade. You can't trade me.
Yep.
It kind of blows up. The NHL does their research and finds out, yep, you actually have a no trade list. He must have had it listed on like his Google Calendar or something. Google Notes, there's no trade list. But,
well, it was funny because Ottawa put it in before he was traded to Vegas, and nothing was said. And It was like, well, what do you mean you don't know this? Like the agents didn't know it. The lawyers don't know this. They go to do the trade, and everyone's like, okay, we're good. Now, what's even worse is, what about the other things that were in play? What about other teams? There were things that could have happened had they have known this. So the ramifications are kind of huge.
Well, Vegas has some salary cap trouble right now because
right.
They have a couple of players like Stone and Martinez, I think it was, that's on the injured list that they need to clear a whole lot of cash to bring them up. I think combined, was it like $12 million or something like that? It was a big number. Maybe it was $9 million. It was a big number that they need to clear in order for them to bring these two guys up when they're healthy.
Well, and I find it extremely odd that nobody noticed. I mean, in a day and age like today, it's kind of crazy. Let me just stop and say, hey to Mike and Steph. How are you, Mike? I am an NHL guy. I am an NFL fan by far. If you can imagine, if I'm in a blue shirt with red lettering here, I also do the same for the New York Giants. So let me just say that. And then Bernie dropped in. Dadanoff has 2 goals, 3 assists in his 2 game back with Vegas, including the winner in the OT. 3-goal comeback the guy's a beast. And I mean, you just wonder what the ramifications will be as you start to go down the rabbit hole, because a lot of things were absolutely targeted, especially when you get down to it's like the last 5 minutes in an eBay war. Everybody starts sniping and getting their thing. They're trying to get that last minute auction. That's the same thing happens with hockey players, is everybody's waiting for that last. From noon to 3 o'clock, there were like 40 trades. It was ridiculous. The Rangers even did it. I mean, we'll get to the Rangers in a minute. Let me just address a couple of things. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff on football. I'll get towards that towards the end of the show tonight, Mike, in probably about 25, 30 minutes or so. I definitely will be talking to you guys about those things. But right now we're doing all the hockey stuff. So BearShark battle for Alberta and Calgary 1-1. Ooh, that's a good game. So, in essence, what you're saying is 100% right. It's like this is going to trickle down, and it's really just one of those crazy things where the ramifications just kept coming.
Yeah,
and it really was nuts. I mean, I think that there were 2 players involved in the trade on the backside. So then
and you have guys, they're getting the word, they're jumping on flights, they're trying to figure out last minute what to do with living arrangements, families. Yeah. It's crazy. And Bernie calls out they had to put Riley Smith on long-term IR to bring in Alec Martinez to make his debut.
Yeah, it's really strange. I've never really seen anything like it. Let's talk about Toronto's trades that you got after Saturday's show, and I'll be bringing up I'm going to try and bring up the Ranger ones because, to be honest with you, I can only remember 2 out of the 4.
Yeah, so outside of the Giordano trade and moving Dermott, there was this many trades.
I thought you just had another one.
Toronto. So they did. I think they. No, they didn't do anything else.
So it was before Saturday you had your 2 trades, and then you did Giordano after.
Yeah, so they really did a whole lot of nothing. A lot of fans up here in Leaf Nation extremely disappointed. We knew our goaltending situation is dire.
I
Mrazek,
can't believe you guys didn't make a move. And I mean, you put Mrazek on waivers.
Yep.
There's some BS reason that you guys were trying to clear cap space of all things. You're going to try and sell that story. And then what do? You bring him back. And I mean,
I legitimately thought when they put him on waivers that Mrazek was never going to play another game in the Maple Leaf uniform. I knew no team was going to pick him up because no one's ridiculous enough to pick him up for that kind of salary. But they put him down. They then bring him back up because they need him to play. And it looks like Mrazek's home record is actually okay. So it looks like they're playing him the home games and they're playing Shalgren for the away games. And Shalgren, even the goals tonight weren't his fault, but he's a rookie. He started 3 NHL games now.
Yeah.
He can't carry a load going into the playoffs.
No, and neither can Mrazek
with the ribs. Who knows how long he's going to be?
No. And, Bernie said 33 trades. I said, well, it was like 40. I knew I was close, but it's the most that, that they're getting done. It's funny because there was an article written about the teams that didn't make the most moves that should have. The Devils and Toronto actually topped that list. Yeah. So did Canadians. It was all 3, as a matter of fact. And it was kind of surprising to see, that you guys didn't make some goaltending adjustment. I mean, you had the ability to do it, and there were plenty of people out there. And I'm surprised you didn't make a trade partner with the Rangers on Georgiev.
Yeah.
You bring in Georgiev and bring us back even your little rookie dude. The Rangers may do that because we have Adam Huska, who could have jumped in as our backup. I wouldn't trust the farm to him, but Georgiev would be a step up for you guys, especially after he did a shutout the other night.
For sure. They kind of made a half trade. They attempted. They signed the Finnish goaltender who won the gold medal, Sateri. But with the rules in the NHL, he had to clear waivers and he gets scooped up. I don't understand what the point is. When you sign a guy, you come to terms, you sign him, and you can't even bring him on your team.
I think it's stupid that they got to clear waivers first. It doesn't make any sense. I hope it's a rule change that they make this year because it is a dumb rule, and I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And then, on the other front, we were one of those teams that went out there and said, we're not done yet. And we kind of went a little crazy. We brought in some good players. We obviously started it off with why can't I remember his name? I keep wanting to say Foligno, and it's not Foligno. It's out of hell with it. He's 77. He scored a goal tonight. Thank you for playing. Let's move on. But we brought in Kopp, which was a good trade. I really liked how we did it. I mean, if you look what we traded for, it's a 23rd, it's a 23 6th, a 23 5th. Marty Biron went, and then some seconds. Like, I don't care. That's a great pickup because we don't know what's going to happen with Stromer. He may wind up deciding to move on. We may not come to terms. He's asking for a little bit too much money, in my opinion, especially for the season he's having. If he was having a Kreider season, I'd give him the money. And then, of course, we picked up Braun, good D-liner. Blue liner, he's a good player. I like this pick. It's only a 3rd rounder. I mean, for a veteran player, that was worth it. It's way better than trying to pick up Giordano for a 1st rounder or 2nd rounder. So I like that we did this. Mott, I also like, again, a 4th round pick. Well, we got depth. We just gritted up a little bit. And for whatever reason, I cannot think of the guy we grabbed out of Florida. Why can't I think of his name? Vetrano, thank you. I kept going to Feliciano. That's not him. And I'm like, I'll get there one of these days. But, and Bernie, I know they weren't moving Georgiev because at the end of the day, we have a solid run going right now. And I think we learned our lesson in 14 with Henrik. But, I have made a joke more than once. I think I did it on the show last week. Get rid of Georgiev, sign Henrik Lundqvist, and put him as the backup to Shesterkin. I would have been in favor. I want to see the man win a cup. I'm sorry, but that's just my own personal pride talking there. Final score, Raptors 131, Indiana 91. That's a blowout.
At least one Toronto team can win.
For Morgan Fay, so we appreciate that. And Patty Puddles, just so you know, our wedding was actually a Rangers-Giants wedding. So, yeah, my wife's a fanatic. She is a huge Ranger fan. As a matter of fact, she bought me this very jersey. And I love my wife. Thank you very much. So, but the Rangers were very busy, especially towards the end. There were a lot of things I was surprised about. Max Domi's still one of them. I think it was stupid They had every opportunity to go get him, if not for any other reason than not to have Carolina have him. I mean, sometimes you got to play the chess with the players on the rentals that you can get and say, I don't want my, like Pittsburgh picked up Rickle, and it's like, and then we've got, or Raquel, excuse me. And then you've got Ty Domi's kid, Max Domi, going to Carolina. It's like, come on. I mean, Florida absolutely beefed up. Carolina beefed up. Pittsburgh beefed up, although it didn't help them last night.
Yeah.
But by the way, 5-1. That was a shellacking, by the way.
One of the teams that surprised me, they didn't really get more involved, was Vancouver Canucks.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a bunch of moves made there and nothing. Same with Chicago, right? We had the big rumors coming out about Patrick Kane and he could be on the move, and nothing really happened. And there's big talk about that team kind of blowing up in the offseason. So it's going to be interesting.
Jordan, that's awesome. I love hearing that because you put my wife and I bonded over hockey too. And yeah, let me tell you something. One of my first dates with my wife was at the Garden. She bought me this jersey is from Madison Square Garden. Like, it was bought at the Garden. She totally overpaid, and I love her for it. Why? Because it's one of the few jerseys I have that was bought at game time at the Garden, and thank you. So anyway, but there was just so many things where, like, Vancouver made such a splash, like, oh yeah, we got JT Miller, and what did they do? Nothing. And it was like, even Calgary jumped in. I mean, it's like Winnipeg jumped in. Everybody did something, but
Colorado was in there.
I don't know. I think it was. So let's make a prediction. Who's going to the finals?
Ooh.
Yeah, I went there. I just sandbagged Sam live. Everybody pay attention. I just put him on point.
Right now, so the East is going to be tough. Because
while you're doing that, hold on, watch this. I'm going to bring up some standings for you, so this way it's not so hard. Because I've got all the standings here for you.
I actually just deleted. I wonder if it's still in my. I should see if this is still in my outbox. I deleted an email. I sent myself a picture from the Hockey News in the preseason with their predictions of how the Cup was going to go. What are the odds? It hasn't actually been deleted. Oh man, it's so old. It's probably.
So right now, while Sam's looking for that, Panthers are sitting at 92 points, sitting on top of the Atlantic Division. So, I mean, you got Bruins are coming on strong right now. Lightning, they're never anything to joke with. You have a problem with goaltending, so I'm going to dismiss you. And it's not because I don't love you. It's just because at the end of the day, that's a hard sell for me with the other three above you. In my division, you got Hurricanes, Penguins, Rangers, Capitals. I don't think the Blue Jackets are anywhere near this. Obviously, points are at 68. I think they're not mathematically out, but they're hurting. So the Caps are coming on strong. They're 5 points behind us, which is 2.5, 3 games. We're literally 1 point behind Penguins, 91 for Hurricanes. I think it's anyone in that division at this point. It literally could go in any direction. Why don't I have the other divisions? Where'd they go? Western Conference. It would help if I just switched it. Then you got over here, you got Avalanche at 97 points. I mean, anybody that's not calling for the Avalanche to at least go, I think is a mistake, or at least get towards semifinals. Wild at 80 points. Blues at 79. That's not a strong division. Kings, Flames, I don't think they're going to do much. That's just my own personal opinion. But if I had to call Western Conference, I'm going to say Avalanche is probably in the finals. I'm going to say Rangers just because I'm a Ranger fan. But it could be very easily Panthers or Hurricanes with the way it's sitting right now.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
So I think Colorado, they're definitely going to have a run. They're going to have a real good run. But
I think they are.
I kind of like the way Calgary plays. And I kind of think Calgary, they're not necessarily all in, but they're hungry, right? It's been a long time since they've had a real good run.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but 86 points. Calgary, if you look in their division, who they're playing, and you look at the divisional difference in the way that come on. I mean, you're talking about the Oilers, which right now they're so hit and miss. It's disgusting. The Knights are horrible. Canucks have been, and I don't understand why the Canucks weren't in more. I mean, 71 points. You're building your team around JT Miller. You should have probably gotten something for him. Ducks are bleh. Sharks and Kraken. I mean, you're not talking about a strong divisional team. And if they're playing outside the division, or, but still in the, they're outside their conference, but still, on the West.
But think of, so they're going to match up, right? At some point, they're going to play Edmonton. What a series that's going to be, Calgary, Edmonton. That is going to be probably one of the greatest series in this playoffs.
Well, it's always a good series because they're brutal.
Yeah, and so Calgary comes out of that, and they're going to be on such a high that I think it's enough that they could really propel themselves to go the distance. I think obviously it takes a little bit of luck.
Hi, Derek.
Right, it takes a little bit of luck. You never know what your path to the cup is going to be in those teams. But if they have a little bit of luck on their side, I'm kind of excited to see what Calgary can do and where they go.
So Dallas Hockey Girls calling Calgary 3, Edmonton 1. She's already made a prediction. I love that. So unless she's saying they just beat them 3-1, but I don't think they're playing. So let me say this: if you're in this chat right now, Blue Car, welcome in. Howdy. If you're in this chat, who's going to the Cup? Name your 2 teams. Then after you do that, give me a separate answer. Who wins it? Who's winning the Cup this year? We're going to have a great debate for the next few minutes about this. And then I want to kind of go over something else that's kind of historic for NHL, which I think is a good thing for the hockey world. But to your point, Flames and Oilers are going to be a great series. Anytime that you get, those kind of rivals going, they're going to be epic. So if you're talking Pacific Division, you think Flames Oilers is what it's going to come down to. Where do you think we're going to be out in Central? You think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be Colorado.
I think it's Colorado all day. I can't even say it with a straight face.
Yeah. The East is going to be interesting. Really.
So let's talk Atlantic Division. Obviously, your top 4 teams, you're in there. Lightning, Bruins, Panthers. As you said before, Bruins are coming on strong. I hate Marchand. I wish he would, be thrown out of league, but that's a different story. That's for next week.
Yeah. And they picked up a good player too at the trade deadline.
Yeah, and they're strong and they're playing well. And so, who do you think wins the Atlantic? Is it Panthers, Bruins, or Lightning? And I only take you out of it, and you're more than welcome to pick the Leafs, but because of your goaltending situation. If not, I would put you guys in there.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Toronto came out of it. The only thing
you're only 2 points out.
I know, but
and that's why it's hard to it's hard for me to discount you so much because you're one. Like if you played the Bruins tomorrow, you guys would be tied.
Well, so we are. We're playing them on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
We play, Tuesday and then April 29th, the last game of the season, we play against Boston, and that's going to tell a lot. But we have Tampa and Florida several times over the course of April, so it's really rough. It's going to speak a lot. Boston, I think, peaked too early. They got hot. They've been on this climb. We know the way hockey's going. They're going to come down from this high at some point. I think they've just peaked too early. If I had to pick a team, if I'm the Leafs right now, I want to play Tampa in the first round because I think we can take Tampa. I don't want to face Boston the way they're playing today. 4 weeks from now could be a very different story.
Always can be an injury later or the hot button gets turned off. By the way, Minnesota just tied Columbus.
Oh, wow. The other thing with Toronto, Boston, if they end up playing each other, there's this nasty situation in the air whenever they get together.
I was wrong. They are playing each other. It's a score with 3:30 left in the first. Thank you for the clarification. I was like, I figured you were picking them to win. I was like, damn, that's a pretty big prediction. Anyway,
awesome. Dad. For those who don't know, Toronto, Boston, Game 7, the Leafs were up by like 4 goals with 4.5 minutes to go. And Boston came back and scored 5 straight and knocked the Leafs out. And it was heartbreaking. And the Toronto has not won a first-round series since. So it would be a great story for Toronto to play Boston and Toronto to break the curse and win.
Not this year.
Not this year. Florida's the one that's going to come out. I think Florida's going to end up going to the Cup.
So you got Panthers, Avalanche. Panthers win it all. Colorado, Florida. Florida wins it all. So everybody's calling because of that, what they did. Then you got Leafs versus Calgary. That would be cool. Let's see. Don't sleep on Hurricanes, though. I agree with that. Maple Leafs win the. Here, I'm just going to put this up for you. This way you feel good for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I would say this is Atlantic Division. Here's the problem that you have with the Panthers. The Lightning, in my opinion, right now are a sleeper team. They haven't, you said something a minute ago, and every hockey fan, if you're a real hockey fan and you're sitting in here right now, there's one known fact, and it's called Oogie Boogies. When the Oogie Boogies come and somebody slumps and your leading goal scorer goes into that, I don't care who or what you are, your hotline stops scoring, you lose 2 games, 3 games, that 92 could hold, and that Lightning picks up 6 points. Guess what? They're tied for first. It's not hard. That's why it's hard to discount Sam's Leafs. They're 1 point behind the Lightning, 2 points behind the Bruins. They're 8 points out of first. This is not inconceivable. As he said, he's playing Panthers, Bruins, and Lightning over the course of the next couple of weeks. He picks those games up by some lucky chance. Mrazek decides to become a goaltender, as opposed to a puck boy. This might actually turn out in his favor. You just don't know. And you make a run, and the next thing you know, you guys get hot. Right now, as I said before, I absolutely, and by the way, Chris Kreider, if you watch this, I'm really sorry that I mentioned you. My bad. Why? 44 goals. I just turned off his goal streak, and it's my fault. So if you're not superstitious in the hockey world and if you notice I haven't turned my hat back around, it's because I was wearing it forward for the Devils game, backwards for the Pens game. Hat's got to stay backwards right now. I may even wear the same underwear.
I don't even know where
Sam doesn't know what to do with that. He's like, oh God, let's get past this.
The thing with Toronto, when you talk about not hot, Toronto has been not hot. Tavares has been terrible. A lot of them have been terrible. Matthews and Michael Bunting are the only 2 things holding that team together right now. So it is very possible they could turn it around. And again, we talk about the officials and we talk about all the bad calls. Toronto lost tonight because of a blown official call.
No doubt. And I mean, but to Bernie's point, though, Tampa does have the best goaltender. Well, let me rephrase that. Got the second best. I got the best percentage, 94% save percentage, probably Hart Trophy and Vezina winner, but we'll have that discussion later. Yeah. They are dealing with one of the best goaltending situations, though.
Yeah.
And their defense. Yeah, and their defense is proven. I'm sorry, McDonough, former captain, New York Rangers, absolutely a fantastic defenseman. You just don't know. But, to your point, Toronto's not been hot, and you guys could turn this on right now. An injury in Panthers land, you just don't know. And I'm not discounting you guys because you're just too close points-wise.
It would be something amazing. And the problem Toronto has, right? They have their top 4 guys with 3/4 of their salary tied up, and they only.
Hey, Dallas hockey girl, we're friends.
They only have these guys for a couple more seasons before they're all going to be up. They're not going to be able to re-sign them all. So if it's not this year, they need to do something big in the offseason, but they have no money to do it.
Fleury pulled it off.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah, and McDonough, with him being injured, and by the way, McDonough is injury prone. So, you just never know. Yeah. Thank you, Dallas hockey girl. So moving on to the last division, because then I want to start to, I want to go over one other story before we kind of talk some FPE stuff. Metropolitan Division. I'm sorry. It's 4-point differential between third and first. Caps are sitting right behind us. I mean, you're talking 9 points right there. They're a little bit of a long shot to win the division, but the top 3 teams are sitting. We just beat Penguins. We play them again on Tuesday. We're 1 point behind. We're 4 points behind the Hurricanes. This is an anybody division, and I kind of expected it. I expected better out of the Blue Jackets, by the way. I expected better out of the Caps. I expected the division to be a little tighter than it is, but the top 3 do not surprise me. They're at 84. Yeah, which is a good point. Thank you, Bernie. But, the bottom line is it depends. You talk about that burned devil game, okay? That's that the game where we all sit there and go, oh, we don't even have to dress for this one. It should be 89. We should be knocking at the Hurricanes' back door, and we're not because we played a stupid game. So the Hurricanes could have one of those. We could wind up picking up one. They could wind up going down one. We could be sitting tied for first or darn close to it when it comes to it. I think that this one's going to take it all the way down. My prediction against everything else, it's not a surprise. The Rangers are making a run right now. We traded to get all in. I'm saying Rangers Avalanche in the cup, and that's where I'm going. Do I think we win? I don't know. Depends on who comes in hot through the playoffs. Yeah. If Antemi Panarin does not start scoring the puck, we're done. If he finds his game again, and Lafreniere's finally starting to do something, Heedle's finally starting to do something, you cannot put this on the back of Zibanejad and Kreider and expect 2 guys to go win the cup for you. It's not going to happen. But if Antemi Panarin gets in there, Stromer starts to work it, I don't know. Hold on. I don't know who I hate more on that list, the Rangers or Penguins. You have blue hair. You're a Ranger fan. What are you talking about?
This is an interesting division, right? Because if you're talking to someone who doesn't know a lot about hockey, just casually follows it, they're going to look and say, well, Pittsburgh, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, yeah, Pittsburgh all the way, right? You go into the hockey draft and 3/4 of the Pittsburgh roster is picked up without batting an eye towards any of the other teams. I think Pittsburgh time has come and gone. I don't know. Yes, they're a good regular season hockey team. I don't know if they're going to still be able to control it in the playoffs. They've gotten very lucky with guys like Rust and some others, these role players that have had a really good playoff run in the past, which has helped them. I think it's not going to be Pittsburgh's year. I think Rangers definitely going to be up there. They have to continue to play a real gritty, physical game, especially come playoff time. That's my only concern with Carolina. I think Carolina is a great regular season game, and they're proving it. Are they tough enough to step into the playoffs?
So there's an interesting question in the chat, and they kind of beat me to it, and I'm kind of going through my list right now to see who it is that I would pick. And the question in there is, who's the long shot to come out of nowhere? And I think I'm going to go back to what you said earlier. I think where I'm going to go with who my long shot is Calgary. I think that they're the one that they could put it together. I don't think they will, but I think they could put it together. You've got a couple of dark horse teams, and it's Timmy who asked it. Toronto's another one. You're not a long shot per se because you're in contention. I mean, you're not a wild card. Well, you are right now, but you're not like in the running to be in a wild card, like where we're looking at you 8, 9, 10 points out. Calgary's sitting at the top of the division, and I still consider them a long shot because they're not beating, in my opinion, Avalanche. Like, they're just not going to. Avalanche is too darn good. Avalanche would have to literally get drunk every game beforehand or the night before and not show up. I just don't see it happening. There's too many things in there at this point. I just can't see it happening. I don't know. And it's funny because Bernie put in there about the Penguins. If Jerry can sustain his elevated play, truth is I don't see it that way, Bernie. We showed a lot of holes in the Penguins D. Jerry couldn't actually hold on with it. Yeah, it's my Rangers, and I'm going to pump my team up, obviously. Why wouldn't I? But we showed the fact that there's a way to beat this team. And I'm hoping we can duplicate it on Tuesday. It was because we also got embarrassed the other night, and we did. We got embarrassed. What we did was a tragedy. But dark horse, who would you say? I'm going Calgary, or I hate to pick the Capitals as a dark horse team, but they're kind of falling too.
I'm going way off the board here. I'm going down to a team that we haven't even talked about. I'm going Nashville.
See, Nashville, it's funny because I stopped and I looked at it, and it's because CeeLo and I had a conversation about Nashville. I could see them doing it. The Wild, because of Fleury, couple things that they moved. You never know. I'm going to say maybe. I could see that. I could see the Preds, though.
They have a lot of pieces. They have some good pieces. They have some really skilled players. They don't have a ton of playoff experience, which could hurt them. But I like what they've put together, and they definitely have an opportunity to make a little bit of noise. Do I think they're going to go far? Would I put money on them? Absolutely not. But
no, I think they're a next year or a year after team. I don't think they're there this year. Yeah. I like them, and I'm going to watch them moving forward. And you know what? Anytime Nashville does something, I love it just because I don't know. I like the name the Predators. It's just cool. But you're going dark horse on them. I picked the top of a division leader as a dark horse. Can you freaking imagine? Like, hey, I got an idea. Let's pick the number one in the division, eh? No, dude, I should have went down the board a little bit. Minnesota was a good choice. There's just not much there. I would always go Red Wings, but they're horrible. And I love Red Wings. I mean, I just love to original six team. I mean, how can you not love what they do and what they've done and what they've done for hockey? So, all in all, I would think we're gonna, next week we're gonna start talking about this and start honing it in because we're got another, month and a half of hockey before we start getting into playoffs, or not even. We're down to 20 games.
Yeah, and it's funny.
3 weeks.
It's a nice segue. You bring up the Red Wings because if we switch gears a little bit, we start talking about rookie watch, Calder Cup watch, as we're moving towards the end of the season.
Yep.
The writers just put in their votes for who they see. If the season ended today, who would be their pick for Rookie of the Year? And if you just go to any sports website and you pull up the stats, you see right now Toronto's Michael Bunting is leading all rookies in points. He's leading, or I guess he's second in goals, and he's first in most penalties drawn. And just as a feisty son of a gun, he is unbelievable. But they picked Michael Bunting. He was voted as fourth in rookie scoring. Their top two picks, both from the Detroit Red Wings. And Lucas Raymond, who's having a good year, and Mortiz Seider. Seider's not up there. Well, he's, I think, fourth in points, down a little bit in goals. He has more assists. But they're saying two Red Wings putting up some good numbers on a real garbage team is going to propel them way up in the rookie point getting. You also have Trevor Zegras, who's in there just behind them, kind of in third above Bunting. So it's interesting crop of rookies for me, and not just because I'm a Toronto guy, but if you just look at the numbers, Bunting, he's putting up the points. There's no, he plays on a better team. He doesn't play on a better team. You got to look at the numbers, and right now Bunting's leading the numbers. I mean, Raymond, Zegras, Seider are all there, but Bunting is the guy.
Well, we're going to take a quick sponsored break because you actually have a sponsor for your segment, which I'm going to have you read when we get back. So we're going to take a quick one just we got to pay some bills. Then we're going to come back with Sam's Club. So everybody hang in just 1 second. We'll be right back.
Main Street Treat brings Disney to you. Hey, we're Rob and Mel from Disney Connections and the new owners of Main Street Treat Company. So come visit us over at mainstreettreat.com to order your treats today.
So in this week of Sam's Club, we're going to talk about something that's really good for the NHL. But before we do that, doesn't Main Street Treats make you want to just order treats from the park?
It sure does.
Dude, I'm so bad at this. It's like right next door to me, but I'm lazy and I just want to call Rob and Mel and be like, hey, can you deliver? But if you guys have not ordered from Main Street Treats, they deliver direct from the park. We've got a new show coming with them. You're going to be able to live order. They're going to stream at the places that they buy, and you're going to be able to actually buy live. And
that's fantastic.
It's going to be awesome. So if you guys are not paying attention to that, you should be. It's comes into the FPE network. Having said that, there's something that's gone on in the NHL. I'm going to let Sam kind of read the story. I broke it with him earlier, but it's going to be a part of Sam's Club this week. It is the first time for this. So this is a huge announcement for ladies in NHL.
Yeah, really, really cool. This is absolutely amazing. The first time they air their first all-women broadcast. Doing such a good job. You get Schofield in there with Hirsch,
Redmond's in there.
Redmond. This is such a key moment. And I know there's people out there on both sides who are going to, have different things to say, but this is the right direction.
Yes.
Even, you see this, you see it if you watch your daily sports channel, your sports desks, your sports net, whatever it is, they're all starting to incorporate more women into the shows, and rightly so. Actually, up here in Canada, some of the best analysts on day games now are some of the women that are out there. So real high praise and high kudos to the networks and the leagues for doing this and putting this together.
Well, and I like the fact that you also have, Cami Granado. She became the assistant general manager for Vancouver Canucks. You have Davidson, who became part of, participating with the NHL All-Star Skills competition. Bruce was a part of being the first women's broadcast for Detroit Red Wings. This is the way that hockey needs to go, especially after you're watching. And I want to make sure I get it right so I don't screw it up. But Kendall Schofield was the one that she came back from the Olympics. So, that's a huge thing that's happening in the sport. And we need to make sure that, that we're paying the homage that is due to them. It's not part of the boys club. There are girls that go out every single day that are killing it. And by the way, one of the things that is always overlooked, if you're a hockey player, if you've ever played hockey and you don't know about the hockey mom, let's just say this right now. Hockey moms getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, taking those kids to the practice, offense, defense camps, doing everything in order to try and get them out there. All the equipment, all the things that we have to do. Kudos to the moms out there, especially since we're getting close to Mother's Day. Don't forget your moms. Buy her hockey jersey. So tell her to watch this show. But at the end of the day, it is super important that that we show team empowerment. And obviously, Dallas Hockey Girl is sitting in here saying Team Canada won the gold in hockey and soccer. Mic drop. Boom.
I was just about to say, if you look back at the Olympic hockey, the women's hockey tournament was far superior to the men this year.
And my partner, Matt Fitzmagic, putting a shout out to Alexa Dat, who covers St. Louis Blues. Exactly. And the list goes on. And it should be this way. Matter of fact, our co-host tonight is not joining us. She's not in the thumbnail because somebody sent me a thing that said I was trying to promote it, that we had women in there, and we really didn't. Crystal, for those of you who don't know, is an avid hockey fan. She's not with us tonight because why? She has school. She is incredible with what she's done. She was actually on Sam's show this week. They were talking about these things. But at the end of the day, I have to tell you, I was kind of offended by the fact that somebody had actually a couple of people had reached out to me and said that we were trying to use Crystal as a promotional tool. That is not the case. You talk hockey with Crystal for 5 seconds, you're going to know two things. A, she's a diehard Ranger fan. And B, she knows more hockey than you do. So, by the way, Crystal, we miss you. Can't wait to have you come back. So, for Crystal's Corner. So, with that being said, it's the right thing with women in hockey. I mean, I'm sorry. I've watched them play. They're fantastic. So, kudos to the women in hockey.
100%. 100%. The only other story, big story tonight to really talk about, the brother of a fantastic U.S. Women's hockey player, Amanda Kessel, Phil Kessel, moves up to number 2 all time with consecutive games played, passes Doug Jarvis, or he's tied with Doug Jarvis, 964 consecutive games. What? Yeah. 964 consecutive games.
If I still had my hockey sticks, I'd be doing hockey taps, but it's behind me and I can't do that. So hockey clap to you, Phil Kessel. Great job. That's incredible.
Yeah. Hot dogs on us, Phil. Hot dogs on us.
Wait, no. It's hot dogs on Sam.
Okay, hot dogs on me.
I'll take 2. But other than that, we're going to start to wrap up the show. But there's a couple of things you guys need to know what's going on, both here on Sports Network and in general. If you're not paying attention to Sam Welb, he is calling the games over on his channel. Get over there. If someone can drop in Sam's channel, get over there and watch. He's calling every game for Toronto. Get over there and watch him. Jump in, be a part of the community. Don't sit there and watch the game by yourself. Get in line, talk trash, do everything you got to do. If we can get him over 1,000 subscribers, he can also get members. If he gets members, he'll get special emojis. If he gets special emojis, you'll really be able to talk trash. So make sure that you help Sam out by getting over there, hitting the subscribe button, watch his streams. Speaking of sports, we're going to be doing this starting on Tuesday night, everybody. Rangers Penguins. We're going to be calling it live. If you like my insanity, I'm going to be doing trivia. I'm going to be joking around. I'm going to be calling the game. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. I'm going to cry if they lose. Other than that, we're going to make fun of the Rat. If you don't know who the Rat is, come find out Tuesday night, or you're not a hockey fan. And then also on Monday, before we go to hockey, we will have Breaking Balls with Jeff Dolwip Dad. You saw him in before. Make sure that if you're a baseball fan, you know somebody who is a baseball fan, recommend this channel, because what's coming up here? We have wrestling coming. Gene Fitzmagic will be calling basketball starting next week as well. So we're going to have basketball games. We're going to have hockey games. We have NFL coming. We have an NFL show nobody's doing. We came up with a concept that's going to be fantastic. Coming next year for this very channel, we're going to also have NFL draft, NBA draft, hockey draft. We're also going to be doing an NFL fantasy league where all money that is signed up for goes to Give Kids the World. So that is an exclusive right here on this channel. Sorry, Gene. But we are going to be doing it so that this way we are benefiting Give Kids the World. It is a cause that Gene Fitzmagic and I hold very near and dear to us. We have tons of announcements coming out about Give Kids the World. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you're paying attention to all the shows, because Gene's going to do this to me one night when I'm not on, and he's going to make announcements that I don't know about or haven't really talked to him about. But other than that, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Share it out. Let people know we are coming, and we're coming hard with sports. If there's something that you want on here, we're going to be doing MMA, wrestling, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, soccer. It's all coming. So make sure that you're subscribed. Tell everybody about the channel. Share it out and say, these people are nuts, because we are. So we have plenty of stuff coming your way. If you're not subscribed over on the network, the FPE network, that is, we have on Sunday, that is tomorrow, we're going to have Coast to Coast Disney. We are Disney fanatics as well as hockey fanatics. Miriam is out tomorrow. Maddie will be taking over the host. We have a special surprise guest host. So make sure you come in and check out who that is. And then on Monday, if you're a Disney fan and you're nuts like I am, and you have kids or anything else, you may know this particular person. That is Genevieve Goings from Choo Choo Soul. Gene and Piano Rob. So Gene Fitzmagic, Piano Rob will be hosting. Genevieve Goings, Choo Choo Soul. My daughter actually learned my phone number and how to count by fives on a clock, thanks to Genevieve Goings, so we really appreciate that. The rest of the week, we have a lineup on the calendar. You can also find it on www.floridaparkexplorers.com. Go over there today. Check out all of our shows. Check out the lineups. There's shows every single day, starting in about 8 days, 10 days. We will have some days that have 8 or 10 shows per day. Make sure that you're checking our programming schedule, because we now have a programming schedule. So please support all the channels. Dave, what do you mean by all the channels? Well, we have a sports channel. Who knew? Well, we're on it right now. We had a movie channel. That's going to have movie shows and TVs. Who knew? If you go over to FP Extra, we're going to have live shows starting on Wednesday. That is going to be at 10:30. It's a Disneyland show. So make sure you tune into that. We have a travel network as well. So we're going to be highlighting some travel. So if you travel and you love those things, make sure you're tuning in. We're going to have travel agents that are going to be live. If you like the parks, come check us out. That looks just like me, probably because it is. That's also my wife and my daughter. We do park exploration every single day. So make sure that you're checking that out. And then last but not least, our partner channel, Pete McDevitt. We highlighted him earlier. If you love Disney and sports, Pete covers it all just like we do. We all work together. It is one big, awesome community. So please make sure that you're checking out everything that's going on there. So tons of great stuff coming from the FPE group. For everybody who was asking questions before, we have tons and tons and tons of things. If I showed you guys the schedule right now, I showed it to Sam earlier. Was that schedule not insane?
It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy, but it is full of so many cool and exciting things. Definitely time to get on board and join these channels and watch them grow.
You know, I have to say this because Mike Wheeler just put in not shot put or shuffleboard. You never know, because we're going to have a 1 o'clock show that's going to be recorded. It's going to be golf. We're going to have fitness. We're going to have nutrition on the sports channel. We're going to be doing things on this channel to make sure that you guys don't have to go looking for other content. It will be professionally produced. It will have completely vetted people This content's going to be fantastic. We also have kids programming coming. If you got kids, it's going to be Saturday morning, just like the old Saturday morning lineup. You'll be able to plop them down in front of the TV, let them enjoy good family-friendly content. Speaking of family-friendly content, that's what we produce. We may get a little edgy on the sports channel, maybe on movies a little bit as well, but when it comes to Disney content, you can be sure if it is anything to do with Disney, we will be adhering to Disney guidelines at all times. So you never have to worry about any foul language. You don't have to worry about anything that you're going to see. Will not happen. That is part of our mantra. So make sure that you're tuning in. Subscribe to everything. We're growing in leaps and bounds. We're going to be hiring people. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and tell you right now, if you're in sales, contact me. I am hiring salespeople as we speak. We'll also be hiring production people starting very soon. So it's also an open casting call. If there's a show that you'd like to join in with us, if you want to be on it, contact us as well for that. Jen, if you can drop in the FPEN bookings at gmail.com, please. So everybody can kind of check us out. Go check out Sam, Pete, Crystal, myself. Please, everybody. It is super, super important. Did we hit 152 likes tonight? Is that real?
Wow.
Is this hold on a second. Is this real? Anybody? Anyway, let me just say this to you guys. You guys have been super supportive. I really, really appreciate this. With Sam being here, I've had so much fun talking hockey. What everybody doesn't know is this guy's finished the last two times we've come on the air. Last week, he had like a 52-hour day and then came on. This week, he finished calling a hockey game, jumped right in. We're hockey people. There's going to be Saturdays where we're literally, this just happened. Awesome. I love to see that. It's one of those things, everybody, we're hockey people just like you. Tell everybody about us. Reach out and say, hey, you know what? You guys got to come in here. They're nuts. When we hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, we're going to have membership. It's only going to be $2 so that you can get the emojis. Then you can drop them in. You can go nuts and have emoji wars with one another. That'd be cool. Anyway, Sam, what else you got coming up?
Well, we are right back at it tomorrow. No sleep for this guy. Well, that's a lie. I'm going to go to bed right now. But we are back. No, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., the Leafs and the Panthers. It's going to be awesome. We will probably get shellacked. I'm already mentally preparing. But hey, Panthers are in town. I'm happy. We're also going to have the Boston Bruins coming up this week and the Winnipeg Jets. So it's a crazy week of hockey. Then it's just going to take us into April, which goes gangbusters. So it's the road to the Cup. And we're doing a whole lot to have fun with it.
Awesome. And what's coming up for me when it comes to hockey this Tuesday night? Join me for the Rangers Penguins. Following week, Rangers Devils happen to just be on a Tuesday night. I'm only going to be able to do Tuesday nights because if you saw my schedule, you'd understand why. So I'll be calling as many games as I possibly can. I will be trying to do Saturday night games as well. It'll be going on before this show. So you may wind up watching Even Strength for lives and then coming in for Even Strength recap. So with that, best I can say is everybody, thanks for coming in. Dallas Hockey Girl, Patty Puddles, Bernie, we love having you come in with all the stats. I know you are a true hockey fan as well as Dallas Hockey Girl. We really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Mike Wheeler, thanks for being here. Disney Fanatics Greg, by the way, will be hosting our wrestling show. He's going to be jumping in with Galactic Council as well, which also moved over to the movie channel. Greg's going to be coming on as a cast member for Clash of the Magic on Friday nights. So make sure that you're seeing all these great people. These are fantastic people that are everywhere. They're all over our networks. Everybody is everywhere. Support one another. It's the best thing that you can do in this community is not only to subscribe, but to watch these content creators. Give them a like. Hit the comment down below if you are watching Team Replay. Tell us who you think is going to win the Cup. We still didn't really get there. Next week we will. So with that, for Sam and myself, I guess we're going to wait. Hold on. I saw wait. Calgary 4, Edmonton 3. Guess we're going to have to leave it there for now. And we're going to have to find out what happens, Dallas Hockey Girl. But for Sam, I am the BearShark. He is the natural. Until next Saturday, you won't see us here on this show, but find us elsewhere because we're everywhere. Till then, everybody, take care. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.